what's wrong with expecting like our young people to be working part-time now? I mean, like, that's how it used to be when I was growing up. Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when, you know, teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be, all this stuff. It's like you go 30, 40,000 in debt to just take loans, but you're not expected to work at all. So I think the priorities have been jumbled.
Over 27% of Florida's workforce is foreign-born, as per the US Census Bureau. So at a time when migrants are being deported left, right, and center, the U.S. state is facing labor shortages. Now, Florida Governor Ron Desantis has proposed a solution to this issue. He says that young people, which is college students and teenagers, they're the ones who should be working in groceries and resorts to cover up for this shortage. To this effect, a bill progressed through the state Senate, which is dominated by Republicans, which seeks to remove a number of existing protections for teenage workers and them to step into the shoes of immigrants who supply Florida's tourism and agriculture industries with cheap labor. This proposal has alarmed immigration advocates and child labor rights groups, who say that this will permit unlimited working hours for 14 to 15-year-olds who are being schooled at home or online. It will also let employers make 16 to 17-year-olds work for more than 6 days in a row. As per experts who spoke with The Guardian, lawmakers have been warned that sweeping anti-immigration bills would impact the labor force, considering how reliant the country and Florida especially is on immigrant labor. Last year, pushback from rights groups had persuaded Florida lawmakers to drop some harsh provisions in a child labor law that was passed last year. But with Trump now back in power and deportation spiking, these provisions are back under consideration.
We got big resorts, we got all this. They said, oh, you know, you're not going to be able, you know, to hire people or whatever. And one, that hasn't been the case in Florida. Yes, we had people that left because of those rules, but you've also been able to hire other people. And what's wrong with expecting like our young people to be working part-time now? I mean, like, that's how it used to be when I was growing up. Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally, when, you know, teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be, all this stuff. It's like you go 30, 40,000 in debt to just take loans, but you're not expected to work at all. So I think the priorities have been jumbled, and I think there's absolutely people that would be able to do. And then even these legal programs, I mean, I'm sorry, these H-1B visas, that's used to pay cheaper than Americans. That's why they bring them in. They say, oh, it's the best and the brightest. Well, you know, 75% of H-1B visas come from one country, India. Why? Because that's where all the companies are that are like in the process of brokering these visas. So it's evolved into a total scam. You've had situations in Florida where the American workers are training their H-1B replacements. So they get fired, H-1B gets less money to come in, and then they do. And the H-1B is indebted to the company. So if Microsoft brings an H-1B, that person can't just jump to Google or somewhere else. You have to stay with it. So that's another giveaway. And that you know, they're operating at least ostensibly within the confines of the law. But there's a notion out there that somehow people think, and a lot of elites assert that somehow Americans just don't cut it. And I don't agree with that. And we can't agree with that if we are, in fact, the greatest country in the world. So rule of law will work. Following the Constitution will work. And I think our economy will be really, really strong as a result of that.